Hey crypto friends, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Arweave charts and we are going to see where it might be headed, and we'll cover both bullish and bearish scenarios as well, just to cover all the possibilities. And towards the end of the video, I'll cover the macro structure of the overall altcoin market as well. Now, for those of you who love trading and love giveaways, I like to give back to my trading affiliates, so I do monthly giveaways in my free community Discord server that you can find a link to in the description below this video. And all you have to do to be entered for my giveaways is simply join the Discord server, sign up at the Blowfin exchange right here with the link in the video description down below this video, deposit funds into your futures account, and simply start trading. And at the end of each month, I simply pick 1 to 3 winners out of my affiliates who trade on a regular basis. And as you guys can clearly see here, I posted it in my Discord the other day. The giveaway for May is going to be $500 USDT. So keep that in mind, you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Arweave on the charts. So when we were looking at Arweave here on the daily chart, give an overall macro view here, we can clearly see that we had a very gigantic, massive run here, all right? And obviously, as expected, every peak has a valley. So we create, the peak created a valley, and then we created another peak, and then we created another valley. Now we just created another peak, and we're probably about to start to create another valley. Now, how far is this valley going to go? That is the question, okay? So on the daily chart here in a macro view, we can clearly see as far as momentum is concerned, we had a high here, we had a lower high here, and we just created another lower high right here, okay? So this is obviously bad news. This tells us, okay, well, things are pretty bearish right now, and we could be on the way to create another lower high somewhere down here or something like that, okay? So in a bearish scenario here, what I've got for you is, what I could see happening is, if things do turn bearish, is we would end up going through my first confirmation of, overall bearish on the macro trend is going to be passing through the moving average here on the Bollinger Bands. All right, we pass through these Bollinger Bands and close below it. That is not going to be looking good. That's going to tell us that momentum is starting to get weakened and we are going to start dropping more and more and more. All right. Now, what would be a major confirmation is if we end up dropping and closing below this major support level here of $29.08, okay? Or within, somewhere around that range anyway, all right? So in a bearish scenario, here's what I see happening, all right? We end up dropping through this moving average here, and we end up dropping through this support level here of $29.08, and we will end up dropping probably down to somewhere within this range before potentially bouncing and trying to retest $29.08 again, all right? And it's all going to depend on momentum as to whether or not we end up having enough momentum to break through this $29.08 level or not, all right? If we don't, we'll probably end up bouncing off of that back to the downside and retesting this low here of $20.65, which is another clear support level, all right? So that is overall my bearish scenario here. Now, in a bullish scenario, what I could see happening is that we end up, bouncing off of this moving average, and which would be really cool. It'd be really nice to see if we, if momentum was there and strong enough, if we bounced off of this moving average or even bounced off this trend line down here, sorry, not trend line, off of this support level down here and ended up going back to the upside. Now, what would turn me really, really bullish is if we end up breaking this downtrend right here and continuing the momentum higher than this high right here, all right? So that would be very, very nice to see. So overall here, you guys, it's all about looking at the levels and getting a feel for how the levels work and seeing how much momentum we have overall in the market itself, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market cap of the altcoin market, all right? So this is the overall market cap of the altcoin market, and as you guys can clearly see, we have got some we're trending lower here. So we had a high here, we had a high here, we had a lower high here, and we had another lower high here, all right? Now, here's the thing, all right? We do have kind of, we kind of bounced way down here, and we started to climb back upwards, all right? Now, I would be looking for us to bounce off of this trend line if things are bullish enough, and then bouncing off of this trend line and then hopefully moving back to the upside above the moving average here in the overall market cap of altcoins, all right? And if that happens, then I'm going to be looking for a major confirmation of breaking through this $695 billion level and continuing to the upside. If that happens, then we could be off to a potentially a good price upwards movement with altcoins, which would be very, very nice to see, obviously. So in a bearish scenario, though, what could end up happening here is we end up just continuing to follow this downslope of the moving average on the Bollinger Bands and just continue to break through this trend line and back down to retest this area down here. As you guys can see, we tested this area a lot in the last few days, testing the area of $596 billion. All right. Now, if that fails, then obviously we are going to be looking for 559 billion for support. All right. And if that fails, well, I mean, shit, honestly, altcoins are going to probably nuke. So, but we don't want to see that happening. So we are not going to think about that. All right. But overall here, you guys, if any of you guys have any questions about anything I mentioned in this video whatsoever, leave me a comment below and let me know. But before I go ahead and wrap this video up, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button below the video, and leave a comment below on your thoughts on where you personally think the price might go for Arweave. And with that said, you guys, thank you for watching if you made it through this far in this video, and I hope to see you guys in my future videos.